Well, I think that maybe Sister Kashakia is ready. So I think that just about that answers your question about gout. Okay. And here we are. We're back again. Okay. Now, let's see if Sister Kashakia is ready. Sister Kashakia, are you ready? I don't think so. I don't hear
Yes,
her.
I'm here, Dr. Truman.
Aha. Okay. You know, Brother Cunningham,
I'm here.
Brother Cunningham is with us here today, and he's got some of that. Well, he ordered a whole case of that Tahitian noni juice. So and I know he's going to get some real wonderful benefit from that. And he's also wanted a case of that Whole Foods. Is that ready for market yet?
No, that will be ready, and boy, do I have a lot of orders going out the door. That's going to be available 6 months from now.
Oh my goodness.
We only had, yeah, see, only the distributors. We had a big event in Florida, and if you were a distributor, you could get your hands on it to kind of be the first ones to get it out to the market so people could start sampling it and using it. So it's in production right now, as well as with 7 other essential oils. And I'll probably talk about this next week. But answer to that question, no. It's going to be about 6 months from now before it's available. And they flew fast, because we're talking about whole food blends with the pigmentations and all of these different health benefits. So it's just absolutely phenomenal what the Most High has given them. So we're all excited on standby for them to come out so we can dive right into them to get those phytonutrients into our body from the different colors that they come from, and get the benefits as well.
Well, I can't wait to
So
see.
I will keep everyone posted.
Great. That's great. Well, I wanted to ask that because Brother Cunningham has joined us here on the broadcast as well. So that answers that question I was wondering. So now, what is your presentation
Okay.
today?
It's
Well,
actually, yes, go ahead, brother. Yeah, I think he still had a question for you, Dr. Truman.
Okay, go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
now this is for you. Can you put in the order?
Okay.
I mean, can you put in the order for this
The Whole
for these
Foods?
foods?
For the whole food blend? Yes, I can
Yes.
put you on the list with the many of people that are on the waiting list. So when it comes in, and I'll give you my phone number, and if you can actually or email me, you can actually email me which ones you like, and then that way we can get them from Dr. Truman, so we'll actually know which one that you'd like to get when they come out. Absolutely, we can.
What's different? What is the different choices?
The choices are
Yeah.
in the colors. There's 4 different colors. You have the green, you have the red, and you have the purple, and you have the orange. I would highly recommend that if you can go back and listen to, I believe it was on last week's broadcasting, I broke down all
Yeah.
of the different ingredients and all that stuff, and just to kind of familiarize yourself. And then I also have a website that you can go to where you can find out more information and see actually what the box looks like and things like that on the website as well.
Yes, and then when he orders that, does he just needs to let them know at betterhealthherbs.com 541-791-8400. He just has to let Kelly or Brittany there know what he wants, so which color he
Correct.
wants, and then they can make sure and get him on that list. Okay.
Yes, that's
Okay.
right. Absolutely.
Well, okay.
Absolutely. I'm glad to hear you on your juice. We'll be looking forward to a testimony from you, brother.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to make sure that he got helped. All right. Sister Kashakia, I think we're ready. Go ahead.
Okay, yes, I'm here. Hello, everyone. As usual, I'm always excited to be here again on another show talking about natural remedies. And I've been going through different topics since we've kind of went into this. So I heard the Most High tell me, I want you to start talking to the women, not to disregard men, because we have Dr. Truman. So the beautiful thing here is that we have a man on board and we have a female on board. And being that I am a female, precisely, I'm a cancer survivor. For anyone that is new to this call, again, my name is Sister Kashakia. I'm out of Dallas, Texas with the Gathering of Christ Church. And I am a cancer survivor. And I am naturally heal, along with using some herbs and remedies and a product called Tahitian noni juice. And so I was diagnosed in the year 2012, and by the year 2013, when I got off of my medications, this was my personal choice. This was my faith. I'm not telling anyone what they need to do. When I do consultations with people, they have to make that decision in faith for themselves. So I don't want to be sued or anything, but I made the decision in faith to stand on God's word and to put all of the things back into my body that the body needs to rebuild itself up. And like Dr. Truman said earlier about building up the mineral for the root canal, it simply took time from that point on. But I stood on the word, I declared the word by faith, and I continued to feed my body the nutrients that it needed to rebuild itself, because the body is designed to heal and repair itself naturally, and it will do that. So I combined the word with the herb, and they both went to work. And so now I stand here today as a living witness, as a testimony that I was healed supernaturally by the Holy Spirit and the power of the word of the Most High, and along with the natural remedies that he has put here on the earth. So today, he has me going into hormone imbalance. And this is also a topic that also affects men as well. So men are not left out of this, but because I am a woman, I'm kind of going into it from a woman's perspective. Women, we have babies. Men, they don't have babies. We have other different issues. We have the uterus. A man doesn't have a uterus. There's a lot of body parts that a woman has that a man does not have. So when it comes to understanding nutrition, we have different things that we have to specifically look out for versus what a man doesn't have to look out for. But one thing all across the board that we must have is proper nutrition. So for the next 2 or 3 weeks, I'm going to be going into different subjects pertaining to women. So I wanted to start out, the Most High told me to start out with a scripture. I normally like to use something from the Bible because it backs up what I'm saying. So it's not just something I'm saying, but there is a verse out of the book of Genesis, chapter 2, starting with verse 21, 22, and 23. And you can write these down. I'll read it very quickly, but you can go back and study them on your own time. Again, that's Genesis chapter 2, verse 21, 22, and 23. And then we will read chapter 3, going into verses 1 and 16. That will take me straight into my presentation. So this is to lay the foundation for women. So again, it says, and the Most High power caused a deep sleep to fall on him, and he slept, and he took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh instead thereof. And the rib which the Most High power had taken from man made he a woman, and brought her unto the man. And Adam said, this is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man. And then skipping down to starting with chapter 3, verse 1, it says, now the serpent was more subtle than any beast which the Most High had made. And he said unto the woman, yea, hath the Most High said, ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden. And the woman said unto the serpent, we may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden. But of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, the Most High has said, you shall not eat of it, neither shall you touch it, lest you die. And the serpent said unto the woman, ye shall not surely die, for the Most High doeth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and you shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to be desired to make one wise, she took of the fruit thereof and did eat, and gave herself unto her husband with her, and he did eat. And the eyes of them both were open, and they knew that they were naked. And they sewed fig leaves together and made themselves aprons. And they heard the voice of the Most High walking in the garden of the cool of the day. And Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of the Most High amongst the trees of the garden. And the Most High called unto Adam and said unto him, where art thou? And he said, I heard thy voice in the garden. I was afraid, because I was naked, and I hid myself. And he said, who told thee that thou was naked? Hast thou eaten of the tree whereof I have commanded thee that thou shouldest not eat? And the man said, the woman who thou gavest to be with me, she gave me of the tree, and I did eat. And the Most High said unto the woman, what is this that thou hast done? And the woman said, the serpent beguiled me, and I did eat. And the Most High power said unto the serpent, because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle and above every beast of the field. Upon thy belly shalt thou go, and dust shalt thou eat all the days of thy life. And I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed. It shall bruise thy head, and it shall bruise his heel. And to the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. Amen, for the reading of that word. There's a lot going on out of what I just read with a woman. Adam is in the midst here, but we're talking about food. And somebody said, well, what does all that have to do with hormone imbalance? And I'm going to lay the platform for that, but this is what the Spirit has laid on me, because we're talking about a woman now, because Satan has beguiled this woman to eat from a tree that was forbidden to eat of. Now, here it is. You have all this other food out here that's good for you, but Satan comes up to this woman and beguiles her into tricking her to eat from this food. And we have this same situation going on today, because being that women are precisely the people who buy the groceries in the home nowadays today, this is why we have these certain natural herbs and remedies, so we can get people back to eating from the tree that he said we can all eat from. Because many of us, including myself at one time, was still eating from this unforbidden tree, which brings death. Because the Most High said, if you eat this food, you're going to surely die. And many of us have been eating foods that is creating death. But now a lot of us are waking up, beginning to realize we've been eating from the same tree that the serpent beguiled Eve from. So as you can see, a woman was taken from the rib of Adam. So we are made totally different needs, totally different everything. So going into a topic that I normally talk about every week, which is about AGEs, and I will kind of get on into that later, but I wanted to kind of talk about hormone imbalance, because I am 42 years old. I'm not ashamed to tell my age. Most High willing, if I live to see May 26th, I will be 43. But during my ordeal with cancer, I did have a little bit of radiation and a little bit of chemo for about maybe 3 weeks into it. And then that's when I decided in faith to get off all of this stuff and come back to the word of the Most High. But the little bit I did get, it totally threw my hormones out of balance. Everything was shifted upside down for me. I was depressed. I was crying. I was having hot flashes, mood swings. All of this stuff was going on due to this pharmakia stuff that they had me put on. And so it just not was a good time in my life to be going up and down like some emotional roller coaster and just feeling the way that I was feeling. So after I was healed from the cancer, the Most High started me on this journey with nutrition. And it's just been amazing, everything that I have found out about food. And I usually always like to read the definition of food, which comes from the Zondervan Bible Dictionary. Anyone that has one, and you can PDF it online and look up the word food, because food is a nutritive material taken into a living organism. That's what food is. Food is supposed to be able to give you nutrients so that these nutrients can go into your cells and repair tissues, and for the vital repair of organs, and also for the vital role of growth. Sometimes you have people, they are stunted in their growth simply because of a lack of nutrition. But getting back to women, they can have babies. We breastfeed our babies, but we're in a generation time now, people are not breastfeeding anymore. We're running to get what's called WIC, canned milk. And people that know about WIC, if they don't, that's another topic. But WIC is not good. The stuff that they're putting in that milk, it is not good, and it's causing our children to have so many. Hold on, just a minute.
Yeah, what Sister Kashaki is saying, she's coming right back, folks. But what she's saying is that that wick is poison.
Yes, basically that wick is poison, and it's not good. And this is why the Most High gave a female breast, so she could be able to feed her baby from the milk that's God-given, with the nutrients and the minerals for the mother and the baby to grow strong. So I want to talk about the unique strengths and the opportunities for women over the age of 40. And I tell people, I know that there are many of us, when I say us, I'm representing women on this call, who dread what's called the over the hill birthday. You know, the one that makes the end of youth, the one that we feel like, you know, we're getting old, but the devil is a lie. We're not getting old. We just feel like that because our bodies are breaking down due to the lack of nutrients and also the hormone imbalances taking place in the woman. And maybe she's not even aware that that's what's going on. But now is the best time, you know, of our lives, I tell people. With an average life expectancy pretty much around 80 to 120 years, you know, I say 120 because the Most High, his spirit will strive with man up until 120, but now people are dying early. You name it, they're dying. And I'm talking about in their 30s and their 40s and their 50s, just way, way too early. And it always links back to some type of disease or something that they died from. It was never they just died because of good old age. It was always heart disease, brain aneurysm, cancer, something that they died from. And so Satan used food in the garden all the way back with Eve to defile her and get inside of her body. So it's very important to understand what we're talking about every Thursday on these shows with food and herbs because they play a vital role in sustaining life. And so food plays a vital role in sustaining life. So this is a time, you know, when we as women are moving into a deeper level of self-discovery and spiritual awareness. Women our age, they are in the workforce, you know, furthering their education. They're caring for the children and the grandchildren, are balancing a mixture, you know, pretty much of all these roles. Many of us are approaching our high potential, even for earnings, you know, and we make about 80% of the household buying decisions. So we have the perspective, I guess I'm trying to say, the experience and the emotions and the objectives that allows us to make, you know, educated decisions. Men, typically, if you ask them, what do you want for dinner? You know, just whatever you feel like. Every now and then they'll tell you, hey, cook my favorite. You know, they start nugging on the back of your neck and doing all that kind of stuff. They want something, and it's usually whatever their favorite little dish is. And it's every now and then they ask that. They don't ask that. So typically, whatever a woman cooks and set on her table, that's what the man is going to eat. And that's kind of what Adam did. You know, hey, if the woman said this is good to eat, then the man, he's went along with it. But we can see that was not good to just say, okay, honey, I'll eat whatever you know you're cooking tonight. Men, we better be finding out, and I'm a woman and I don't discriminate, but we better find out what our women are putting on this table. What are we eating? Is this something that is approved of by the Most High, you know, to the best of our abilities, so we can be able to live younger, longer, and keep our women from being out of trouble and experiencing the issues of health and disease and sickness that comes along for eating from that wrong tree. So we're recognized for Dr. Truman, is that something that's unmuted somewhere? I can't tell. Or was someone asking a question to something I was saying?
Somebody's mic, they just joined us and it was unmuted. And okay. I have now made sure all the mics are muted. And you can, folks, you can press your star key 2 times if you have a comment or a question, and we welcome comments and questions. Please continue.
Okay. In addition, we are more health conscious and active than any other generation before, and this is a time in our lives, and we want to be, you know, active. We want to be healthy and attractive so we can continue to enjoy this time and look forward to the future. Along with juggling a busy life, women our age also deal with a great amount of change. So we're entering into a new stage of life and facing challenges that we never have faced before. You know, each generation, things are getting different and different and different, you know. And as women over 40, we have specific nutritional needs that are just much different from those of men and younger women. Many of us experience mood swings, headaches, cravings, all of the other issues associated with premenopause. You know, somewhere around the age of 40, we look in the mirror and just kind of say, oh my God, what's happening to me? We're picking up the belly, looking like a kangaroo with the baby hanging in the sack. I mean, fat in the face. I mean, the butt's done got a little bigger, stuff's poking out. Like, what's going on? Stuff that we can't seem to figure out why I can't get rid of all this, you know. So where did that, you know, pouchy middle part come from and all that kind of stuff? We're asking ourselves. So we seem to gain weight overnight while battling fatigue, irritability, and hot flashes. Also, when faced with younger, more attractive women in a gym or at the mall, kind of our self-esteem drops because we begin to start comparing ourselves to the younger women and remembering the days, when, man, I remember when I used to look like that. I used to get all the brothers or, we just start telling ourselves all kind of things as we look upon, even it might just be our children, because nowadays when you look at these children, it's hard to imagine. You ask them, how old are you? And they say, oh, I'm 13. And my gosh, they've got a body of a 30-year-old woman. And it's just like, what? How old are you again, sweetheart? And it just knocks you to your feet to see the breast size they have, the butt size they have. What's going on here? What's going on is these hormones that are being put into our food supply and these AGEs that I'm going to go into. And it is just outrageous, the epidemic that is going on. I'm not going to just say in this country, but worldwide is an epidemic due to it, because Satan, the subtile beast, that beguiles Eve, is still beguiling most of the women in the world today, deceiving them to eat foods that they shouldn't be eating from instead of eating from the trees that we were given permission to eat from. So it's all about exposing Satan and telling him to get thee behind me, and educating yourself so you can become wise on what's good and what's not good in the eyes of the Most High. We don't want to, descend into a painful stage of life where we suffer from arthritis as well, and osteoporosis. That's another one that women are on the horizon. They're discovering and diagnosing women with this, So also on the horizon is menopause. And, man, that's a whole other subject within itself, because it's so many things that's going on within a change of a woman's body during this time that's called menopause. This is a particular time that we start to experience weight gain. We often suffer from the unpleasant effects of hormone fluctuation. At menopause, we start to lose twice as much muscle, approximately about 1 pound of a muscle a year as men. This can also cause a shift in our body's composition and a decrease in our metabolism system. The Women's Healthy Lifestyle Project, funded by the National Institute of Health, found that all women, whether thin or overweight, gain weight during this period of their lives if they don't change their lifestyles. And so that's what it all boils down to, having a healthy lifestyle change. We must make new changes to our lifestyle. In addition, when we enter into this age range, our risk for certain diseases like heart disease and osteoporosis are on the rise, and all of this can lead to a woman to just not really feeling her best, or she kind of feels that her situation is hopeless, but that is not so. As mid-age women, we're really at the top of our game, and we can take control. So I want to kind of talk for a second about natural progesterone and natural estrogen on the topic of a woman's health. As women enter into the what's called the perimenopausal stage, they naturally find themselves searching for more information out there. So as you turn this corner in life, it's important to, I would say, educate yourself about the possibilities that lie ahead. And in doing so, you'll find out that many of the health concerns that become prevalent around the time of menopause may be addressed with the food and the lack of nutrients that you simply need to have in your body. While the menopause itself is a natural event, it may pose some psychological and physiological challenges for women, so they can cause both. Entering the perimenopausal state, the period of transition leading into menopause, can be very confusing for women. So your body has more or less faithfully cycled every month. And a lot of people that have, maybe if you've had fibrocystic tumors, I had them as well when I had my cancer, and I had to have some procedures and different things done. But when I went through all that, I found out I could have just simply been patient and applied the right nutrients in place, and they would have submerged and went down naturally on their own without needing all of this technology and all of this stuff they're shooting into you, and hormone replacement, which is nothing but horse urine. So if you have any family members or friends, females, women that that are on hormone replacement therapy, you might want to let them know that they are injecting horse urine inside of them. I mean, how disgusting to put something that is feces as urine inside of a holy temple, as Dr. Truman was saying earlier. Our bodies are the temple of the living God, and we're injecting horse urine inside of it. Oh my gosh, it's just unthinkable to even think about it, but they are out there doing that just to try to balance women's hormones back into place, when there's a more natural, safe, effective way to do that by eating the right foods and using the right herbs and giving your body time to rebuild itself up and the hormones will balance themselves back into place. These changes, they can be very puzzling, frightening, even a little bit sad if you realize that your reproductive years are kind of drawing to a close. While most women enter this stage apprehensively, their desire for information increases. So especially now living in the 21st century, everything's at the push of a button. Women are on the internet looking around all over the place. But here's what I have to say, women, make sure whatever you're out there looking for, that it is not something that the serpent is beguiling the women with, getting you to put things into your temple that should not be there. Because as we can see, the Most High told a woman that he is going to increase our sorrows for putting these things inside of our bodies. And man, when you look at what women, just the topic of women and what they're going through today, oh my gosh, has that prophecy come to pass? Because women have many sorrows today from eating from this same tree and eating this forbidden food that Eve is eating. So we've got to turn this around and thank the Most High for Yeshua HaMashiach, that now through his grace and mercy we can repent of these things and begin to get on the right track and turn these things around. So the hormone changes during your premenopausal years. Your body enjoys the constant, delicate and interweaving, I call it a dance of estrogen and progesterone. So together, these hormones, they regulate each other to provide your body with the optimum benefits of both, while protecting your body from too much of either, because you can have too much of either one, and that's what begins to what's called a estrogen or progesterone dominant effect. And so sometimes when women, we're having mood swings and we're telling the kids and we're hollering, screaming all out of the house, and husbands are trying to figure out what's wrong with you. You PMS, and sometimes that's what men will tell people. That's why they get that saying, you must be PMS. It must be that time of the month for you. Or they make little funny gestures and stuff. Men, let me tell you, you want to help your wives or help your women, because there is definitely something wrong going on there. And so it could be due to a hormone imbalance, that they are having these mood swings. They might be experiencing hot flashes or some thyroid problems or many, many complications that come affiliated from having too much of either one of these hormones out of place in the women. So the imbalance of the estrogen and the progesterone, it may cause you to experience uncomfortable perimenopausal and menopausal symptoms, like I said, such as fibroids, tender breasts, PMS, sudden weight gain, fatigue, irritability and depression, foggy thinking, memory loss, migraine headaches, very heavy or light periods, bleeding between periods, or cold hands and feet. And that's just to name a few. So that's a lot going on if your hormones are not put into balance, and it's beginning to take a woman off course and off track, and it even affects her spiritual awareness. And at the end of the day, that's what Satan is really out to get you, where you're not on your peak of your game in the spiritual realm. So he understands he can do this by stealing the nutrients out of the food and the herbs that you need to have on a daily basis to be able to be at the optimal level of health. So your body naturally balances your hormones through a system of negative and positive feedback. So if you are a woman that is still having, monthly cycles, if you look at the typical monthly cycle of an average woman, you'll notice that for approximately the first 14 days of the cycle, the progesterone levels are relatively low and steady. During the latter half of the cycle, starting with about the 14th day, the progesterone level spikes. So it reaches their highest point and drop to the original level. So especially when a woman is going through that time of the cycle, that's why you begin to notice mood swings and all of these other things that's going on, because the hormones are out of balance. And so we're going to talk about how do you put that back into balance in a natural way, and what is the role of estrogen. So as you discover more about estrogen, you may begin to wonder what the roles it plays in your development as a woman. And estrogen is the primary female sex hormone that stimulates growth, and it is vital for overall health. So it triggers the development of female sex organs, and it's essential in preparing the uterus for pregnancy. So sufficient estrogen is absolutely essential for good health before menopause, and is dangerous only when it is out of balance with the other hormones, such as progesterone. So Imbalanced estrogen levels can lead to health concerns such as breast and uterine cancer, acceleration of the aging process, which is linked into the AGEs, increased risk for stroke and heart disease, allergy symptoms, depression, anxiety, fat gain, especially around the abdomen, the hips, and the thighs, fatigue, hair loss, osteoporosis, and uterine fibroids. Like I said, again, just to name a few. So some of the symptoms for women, you can write some of these down to understand if you're having the symptoms of estrogen dominance, which would be weight gain, edema, mood swings, anxiety or irritability, fibrocystic breast, insomnia, uterine fibroids, migraine headaches, increased incidence of allergies or autoimmune disease, female cancer, blood clots or strokes, infertility, just to kind of name a few that I remember to write down. So you need to be able to make sure that all of your hormones function properly for optimum health. So you want to make sure that you have both of them balanced out. So understanding natural progesterone, progesterone is a specific molecule made by both females and males, affecting every tissue in your body. So in women, one of the progesterone's main roles is to balance estrogen, but it also plays a vital role in procreation as a hormone precursor. So its intrinsic effects among many health promoting functions may include maintaining normal blood sugar levels, using fat for energy, lifting moods, and restoring libido. So the roles, and it has multiple roles of progesterone. It can help to protect against breast fibroids, protects against endometrial, breast ovarian, and prostate cancer, normalizes blood clotting and protects against strokes, acts as a natural antidepressant and relieves anxiety, helps to normalize blood sugar levels, helps thyroid hormone function, promotes the use of fat for energy, osteoblast, which is bone formation where it reverses osteoporosis, helps prevent hypertension, which is high blood pressure, helps metabolize the body fat for energy production. So there's a lot of roles that come from using a natural progesterone. So the benefits of the balanced hormones, they help to regulate cell growth. Earlier I talked about cells. The body is nothing but cells. From the top of your head to the soles of your feet, there is a combustion of cells. And these cells, they have to be fed nutrients. So it's more, food is not just about filling up your belly and saying, oh, I'm full. It's about feeding your cells, and they rely on these nutrients. And if they don't have these nutrients, they begin to start dying off, no different than a battery. And the cells inside the battery of your car begin to die off. And before you know it, you have to go and buy a new battery. Well, yippee for the battery, because it can be replaced. But for us, once we're gone, we're gone. So we really have to take heed, women, on making sure that our hormone levels are in balance. And so the phytoestrogens, they are also found in the natural sources such as noni, talking about the Tahitian noni juice. So when considering natural solutions, I tell people don't overlook the phytoestrogens. The word phyto just means plant-based. And we know that the Most High, before he made Adam and Eve, made all the plants that he had there in the garden. So the phytoestrogens are naturally occurring plant compounds that have some similarities to estradiol, the most potent natural occurring estrogen. Phytoestrogens have mild estrogen-like effects in humans without the side effects usually seen with estrogen supplementation because they resemble the estrogen. So phytoestrogens can help balance the menopausal symptoms. So phytoestrogens are found in natural sources such as soybeans, black cohosh, red clover, and also the noni. So we have a product with Miranda that is called Body Balance Cream, a woman's natural life cycle. It brings about a lot of changes. You want to feel your best physically and emotionally, and that's important to us women. When we don't feel like we're at the peak of our game physically and emotionally, we just get to that point where, hey, don't bother me, leave me alone, close the door, get out, don't say nothing to me, all that kind of stuff. See, that's not normal for women to feel like that. And even when it comes to our teenage daughters, we're seeing now this same problem is happening in them. The school teachers and the principals are calling. They're getting into fights. All kind of things are going on due to the hormones that are in our teenage daughters. They're out of place and they're out of whack. Too much sugar is in the diet, which goes back to the AGEs that I talk about. And AGE is an acronym for Advanced Glycation End Products, the word END. And how are they formed? They are simply formed from foods and beverages that we're eating, that we're taking into our bodies, and it's causing the sugar and the protein that the foods come from. When they bind together, they cause what's called these AGEs. So these compounds, they prematurely age our bodies, and they have been linked to many different serious health concerns. Some experts believe that our AGE levels should be a medical marker, just like knowing your blood pressure, your body mass index, also and your blood sugar levels. AGEs are a product of a person's lifestyle. Basically, when I talk to people and do consultation, we're talking about lifestyles here. Having poorly habits, the foods we eat, the most amount of sleep we get, the stress we experience, and the level of exercise we take part in all help determining our AGE level. So it's not just about also eating healthy. It's about being able to live stress-free and making sure you're getting plenty exercise. All of that plays a role, but predominantly the AGEs are formulated from the molecules of the sugar and the protein binding together inside of the foods and beverages that we're eating. Even smoking contributes to AGE development. So the negative effects of AGEs have been validated in many different scientific studies, over a span of years. So where do the AGEs come from? And they come from inside the body and outside the body. So like I said, AGEs are formed naturally inside our bodies when that sugar and protein combine. So we want to be on the lookout for what we're putting inside of our mouth. Also, inversely, using hot heat when we're cooking our food, cooking the food on high. That's also causing an increase in the AGEs. Cooking with high levels of heat or using cooking methods that brown the food, including like barbecuing, grilling, frying, sauteing, broiling, searing, and toasting. They send the AGE content of the food skyrocketing. So if you're doing any of that, women, you are increasing high AGE levels inside of your body, which basically means you are prematuring aging. And as I discussed earlier, AGEs are linked into the aging process due to the hormone imbalance, causing the hormones to be really wobbly and be all over the place. So you might have more than one than you do the other, or both of them can possibly be low, or just somewhere something's going on with the hormones. They're out of balance. So the body has natural processes to rid itself of the harmful AGEs, because AGEs are harmful. However, when too many AGEs are consumed and created, they build up faster than the body can keep up with, and they begin to accumulate in the body's tissues. So this accumulation, we're talking about affecting our whole entire bodies, from the skin to the organs. And the AGEs, they do damage the collagen and the elastin in our skin, leaving it wrinkled, saggy, and dull. So this leads to an older physical appearance. And remember earlier I talked about women. That's part of what they must possess, being able to physically and emotionally have a good well-being. So when women start looking old, they tend to start feeling old. And it's because they are beginning to have these high AGEs in the inside, so they are prematuring aging. Meanwhile, the high levels of AGEs, they are linked to virtually every serious health concern we face today, everywhere from cardiovascular disease, diabetes, liver disease, Alzheimer's, kidney function, blood sugar levels, joint health, memory function, vision impairment, inflammation, hypertension, heart disease, dementia, stroke. I'm just trying to, osteoporosis, arthritis, and periodontal disease, just to kind of name a few. Researchers have been on the prowl, just kind of pretty much trying to connect and see what's all out there. So this is pretty much something you can also go to a site, I'm going to give out here in just a second, and you can click on these many different links and find out more information about what scientists and researchers and doctors are talking about these AGEs and the health conditions that they are attaching themselves to, even tooth decay. I heard a brother asking about tooth decay. So they're attaching themselves on to that as well. So they attach themselves to everything in sight. So For these reasons, it's very important that people are aware of their AGE levels, and we do have what's called a true age scanner. Dr. Truman usually has a picture there of the scanner where we can actually measure the levels of your true age levels. You can also have them done through a urinary analysis, or you can have your blood test done, which might take some time for it to come back. But most people that don't like needles and being poked and, having to urinate in a cup and all that kind of stuff, Miranda, which is the company I market for, we have developed what's called a true age scanner, which helps people to be aware and measure the AGE levels that are inside your body individually, so you can have a medical marker and know where you are. And so our product called Tahitian Noni Juice is the only scientific validated product that fights off AGEs, and it has been formulated to reduce these AGEs by 24% in as little as 4 weeks. So noni is a fruit that has been used for well over 2,000 years, even track back to that, but it is documented in the medical PDR, your physician's desk reference book. So that means every hospital and every doctor's office that you are in, they have one. Now, there are two types of medical PDRs. One is a nutraceutical and one is a pharmaceutical. You will find the Tahitian noni listed in the PDR nutraceutical because it's a nutrient. It's simply all it is. All you're doing is feeding your body living food that has a bioactive compound that is uniquely found in this food plant that's not typically found in all fruits and vegetables. And it's called iridoid. And iridoids is spelled IRIDOIDS. You can Google that word, look more into understanding what iridoids are all about. That way you will understand exclusively what you're getting when you're purchasing Tahitian noni juice. You're also feeding your body 150 different nutrients. I heard Dr. Truman talking about magnesium. Magnesium is also found inside of the Tahitian noni juice, along with many of the other bioactive nutrients that work on your natural cells without having any side effects. So there's no side effects to this food. Anything that the Most High has made in this earth does not come with a side effect. If you're using something and there is some type of side effect, chances is that's something that came from the subtile beast and not from the Most High. That's why it has some type of side effect to it. So this here is a way to supplement and put the nutrients back into your body as well as reduce the AGEs. I would highly recommend that you call to make an appointment to get yourself scanned. It takes about 20 seconds to know and measure your AGE level. So it simply has a spectrometer in it, and you set your arm on side of the machine so you can see a picture of it at the site. And within 20 seconds, it will let me know how old your organs and your liver and everything in the inside of you are. And that should be a medical marker that we should all want to know, so we can begin to do something about it. And like I said, noni is scientifically validated. It will help to reduce it up to 24% within as little as 4 weeks. So basically what that's doing is taking 24 years off of your life and giving you 24 years back. So who doesn't want to be an additional 24 years younger on the inside than what they are on the outside? And it begins to show in your skin and your hair and your nails. So you want everything to look young about you, so you can stay at optimal level of health. So you can reach me at my website. Also, I just forgot, I talk a lot all over the place, so I don't really go off a script. I just kind of go what's coming out of my heart, what's coming out of my mind, because I've been doing this for over a decade now, so I don't have anything to read off of. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. So I remember starting to talk about what's called the Body Balance Cream, and you can get this here from the Natural Herbs and Remedies. It's a body balance cream to balance the hormones back into place. So women, if you are having any of the issues that I just talked about, you might want to use this Body Balance Cream. I believe it's $23.99 for the cost of it, and you rub it into the skin is how it does. So it provides a transdermal. All that means is just skin, a cream delivery system. So it has the natural progesterone that's found in it, so it matches up exactly pretty much to the natural progesterone that's also made inside of your body, because I talked about earlier how your body will make it on its own. But sometimes when it's missing the adequate amount of it that it needs, you need to supplement something to put it back in there so it can give you that well-being, that calmness, that where you're not so up and fidgety and all over the place, you know, and it just really relaxes. I know when I had my cancer, like I said, I had hot flashes. I had all of these symptoms because what they had gave me in the chemo and the radiation, it just stripped my body and did a whole 360. So I had to put my body back into balance, and it took some time to do it. But I typically tell women, give this cream about 2 or 3 weeks. Continue to rub it in the non-fatty areas of your calf, your elbow, you know, just your buttocks, anywhere you would like to rub it around your neck, somewhere you'd like to just rub it in. Apply it about twice a day and give it about 2 to 3 weeks. Some people's body has been sooner, but you want it to really get into the bloodstream and begin to start balancing out these hormones. And it also has the noni, and it has the noni seed oil, and it takes 50,000 seeds from the noni plant to develop a 1-ounce bottle of the essential oil called noni seed oil. So that noni seed oil is very high in linoleic acid, which is a fatty acid that is good for hydration and moisturizing of the skin. So it goes into the skin 5 layers deep. So this is a very essential special oil that was also used from the people of the native island of Tahiti, which is where this noni comes from. So this comes off of the island of Tahiti. This is not noni out of Walmart, Kmart, Sam's, somewhere like this. This is the only original noni that is a bioactive food supplement and that has the iridoid compound. So it's very important. You want to make sure that you are on a noni that has the iridoid compounds in there. So you can reach me if you are interested in getting yourself scanned so you can know what your AGE levels are at 469-443-2124, or you can email me at kshaw, which is KSHAW 0026 @gmail.com if you are interested in getting yourself set up. I am globally going around right now. If I'm not in your city, I will find out someone that is inside of our organization that is, where you can get yourself out to an event and get yourself scanned for your AGE levels. If you are interested in ordering the Tahitian Noni or the True Age Max, the True Age Max is our sister product. I heard Dr. Truman talking about cherry for one of the ladies that needs cherry. Cherry is one of the fruits that is inside of our True Age Max combined with the noni, also blueberry, also the olive leaf extract, also the cranberry and the blueberry. All 5 of them with the noni are combined in that. And what makes the difference is the milligrams of iridoid. So it starts from 30 milligrams and goes all the way up to what's called the concentrate True Age 360 milligrams. So a consumer can kind of decide which milligram level that they want to start on. So with that being said, that's all I have for today. If anyone's interested in ordering this product, Dr. Truman, if you can do us the honors of giving out the information on the website. Also, I'm going to be starting a women's body composition. I got certified with the company with Miranda in 2007. So again, I'm going to be working with women on body composition. And so next week, I will probably go over the basic 4 elements of what it takes. I'm not talking about a diet fad. I'm talking about increasing lean muscle and decreasing body fat. That's part of understanding, you know, a role of a woman, but that's also for men as well. So if you're interested in being in that group,
What happened? Whoa. All right, looks like we lost Sister Kashakia. We lost her telephone there, so we are back, and that was a lot.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I was just telling people that that's a lot of great information.
Yes, it is. It is. So that's pretty much all I had to cover. So I was saying before I got dropped off, if anyone, I will be starting this group April 1st. It doesn't matter if you're in California, Russia, China. I don't care where you are. I don't have to be in your city. We can do this together over the phone. So if you know that you need to drop some pounds and decrease some body fat, You can also get the products that you need from Herbal Health Reviews. If you will email me and let me know, I will let you know what you need to get done. It's called WOW. They're very, very inexpensive products. The first thing we're going to do is start off with a 6-day cleanse. Everybody needs to be detoxing, male or female, and cleansing your system out so you can reset your metabolism system. So I think that's about $19.99 for a 6-day pack of the cleanse. And so again, this will start April 1st. And the name of the group is called WOW, meaning Women on One Wing. Most women try to strike out on their own, and that's why they end up hitting plateaus, and they never end up getting to the goals that they want to get to. So if you are in need of another wing to fly on, we would love to have you be a part of this group. Just email me or get in contact with me, and we'll get you everything you need with the instructions so you can be a part and ready to start detoxing with us at the 1st of next month. So with that being said, Dr. Truman, I am finished, and it's all yours now. Thank you very much.
Wow, wonderful presentation. Thank you again, shalom and shalom, Sister Kashakia, because always giving us all this wonderful information and support for women. You know, yay for our women, that we would spend some time and make sure that they get this wonderful information, and be sure to take advantage of the wonderful WOW group. That sounds cool. The telephone number to call for Health and Herbs in Albany, Utah, Albany, Oregon. I wonder how I said. Why did I say that? Anyway, who knows? So
you're funny, Dr. Truman.
I'm laughing at myself. I am funny. Okay. Anyway, the telephone number to call. The telephone number to call in Albany, Oregon is 541-791-8400. If you want any of the products that we're talking about, give them a call there. They take care of the distribution and the orders, and they're really wonderful people, especially so wonderful because it's my granddaughter who blessed me with 5 great little granddaughters, and I love their little socks off, their characters, all of them. But they just gave me the flu. They all had the flu for a couple of weeks, and I fought it off, and now I'm still fighting it off. But I'm almost over it, It's all right. We got our colloidal silver water, we got our coughs and sore throats syrup, and we're cool. 541-791-8400. That's the number to call to talk to the folks there at Health and Herbs and take advantage of all this wonderful information.